quick side note. If you are beginning my book audios for the first time on a random chapter location, please you'd want to hear the introductory chapter because it will orient you to the spiritual origins of this book. My books are on paperback and ebook. The Phases of Revelation is available on paperback with an index for your personal study and interests. An ebook is available as well. The same goes my first book, As I Passed Him. And now, greetings everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Revelations Unearthed. Thank you for your attention, and you're listening to my series of videos narrating my book, The Phases of Revelation. Please hit the like and subscribe button below. Your comments and questions are welcome and appreciated. And yes, please share my videos with anyone and everyone. If I may suggest that if you have any significant correlative current events, per any of my interpretations, please make a note in the comments. Thank you so much and enjoy. And here now begins the next chapter. Chapter 12, the second seal. Then another horse came out, a fiery red one. Its rider was given power to take peace from the earth and to make people kill each other. To him was given a large sword. In this phase you see that conquest and diplomacy, power and influence on an international scale, are no longer the method of political approach. This is due to the approaching reality and scarcity of monetary funding and depleting resources and economies. It is a middle ground between the first seal and the third seal. At this very date and time of 2013 to 2014 to present day, I believe we are very much in this phase of the second seal. The first seal phase of diplomacy and gentlemanly manners in politics and international approaches to conflict resolution and heroic military interventions were the bent on conquest phase that is now receding and merging into times of economic deterioration. In others' words, the economic resources that fueled the heroes and rescuers within their plentiful and thriving economies and abundant resources were times suited to carrying out the phase of bent on conquest. But now, in the midst of a declining global economy, it is a time for nations to draw a line in the sand, sort of speak, in order to show that this is where we stand, and these are our true limits to what we can provide to other nations that are faced with economic hardships and chaos. America's global role of policing the world is no longer a suitable goal due to economics and the ability to carry it out. From this line in the sand, we must decide to engage or not to engage, the taking of a stand because we only have enough to defend our own people at this time, from whence we await the next move that will be taken by other nations that are globally interconnected to a similar economic circumstance. Given my latter description of this seal, now we see that the Holy Spirit has drawn a line in the sand as well. It is a firm stand, as true to itself as we can possibly announce that Christ is what we advocate and proclaim, and hereforth we stand amidst the same global circumstances as all the nations. Our stand is perhaps the only one that is grounded on traditions of a qualitative spiritual nature that now more than ever we are determined to defend amidst a rapidly changing world. Our statement of a return to tradition with the election of a new pope as Francis I is quite an appropriate line in the sand. Here in this seal, all nations have drawn a line, a limit, and are partaking in an international standoff. From the governmental and political perspective, the world's most powerful nations cannot respond to other nations in turmoil and chaos in the Middle East and around the world. We cannot be the world's police as the United States and United Nations was once known to be. We cannot respond accordingly as we used to do so when we were in the bent on conquest phase. The conquest is now a matter of reservation of our resources and military hardware to be used only in a manner that must be calculated to serve the outcome of conquest potentiality based on opportunism and to utilize our best efforts carefully. Now we must conserve our resources for a proper time, a time most resourceful, profitable, beneficial, safer, the better route to take, or that someone else should take first, in order that we may preserve what we have in case the inevitable chaos should come to us. We are awaiting fate and political outcomes, calculations and intelligence from strategic hotspots around the world. The second seal or phase also merges with the first seal, but is more so merging with the third seal because it is to come next. We stand in anticipation of what might develop next within our own economy, and so priorities and survival are among the essence of this standoff. A survival reality is beginning to set in. This state of conservative affairs is drawing a large sword in order to demonstrate to their opponents and even to their allies the limit of their potential as being in the front most of this defensive line in the sand. The sword is part of this standoff, and fate and chance will trigger it if it should escalate to threatening its economic and physical borders. The standoff phase of global and national affairs is, at best, a state of peace with a large anxiety element to it, an anxiety that lingers in the air of possibility. Reality is setting in, and the inevitable becomes more and more a reality of what the next step must look like for us in this sensitive and global situation. Now, more and more do I believe as I am writing this chapter in my book that we are definitely in this phase of revelation. The line in the sand is saying to other neighboring and competitive nations that the next move might involve us using deadly force, even in order to protect what little bit we have left in resources. So, make no mistake about this phase that we have come to this, and this is all we got left to defend ourselves from any enemies, foreign and domestic. Internal protests will be dealt with severely. Currently in the news is Syria, who has responded with necessary force as best as it can possibly manage in light of the internal forces of citizenry uprising and issues of governance. North Korea is currently in a position of becoming a dead nation if they use a nuclear weapon, because before they are able to cut the throat of another location by launching another nuclear weapon, they will have already proved that they are an unstable nation due to a leader that they acknowledge and support. This style of scenario can then become a domino effect type response due to the standoff reality of international and global economics. The potential to invade a neighboring democracy and free enterprising and trading country could mean the tipping over of an already sensitive global economy. This sensitivity is the essence of this global standoff. Other nations are on the verge of these types of military measures and planning for the worst-case scenario. From the latter paragraphs, we begin to see how the next phase of the third seal will unfold. As I have said, these seals all merge and eventually extinguish as the next seal begins to gain momentum. Neither of these seals is possible without a reinforcing preceding seal or phase to reinforce and support it. The upcoming chapter 12 concerning the third seal is specifying the beginning of the first half of the tribulation, but of which beginnings are currently arising with traits escalating to a climax point in time that will clearly signal the beginning of the third seal. A wave in the ocean does not just pop straight out of the water, but rather it swells upwards in meters, or a couple of years when it comes to the phases of the seals, and climaxes at the peak of the appropriate constellation, and thereafter recedes into the next. Hope you enjoyed the chapter. Please hit the like and subscribe button below. Your comments and questions are welcome and appreciated. Please share the video or my channel link with anyone and everyone. And thank you for listening, and God bless you.